Hello everyone. I'm going to finish up with these Gospel of Thomas sayings. I'm going to go through 60 now. And so, number 52 says, his disciples said to him, 24 prophets have spoken in Israel, and they all spoke of you. He said to them, you have disregarded the living one who is in your presence, and have spoken of the dead. So basically, he found life, and he was carrying that life into the world, and to give it to those who needed it, the sick among them. And so when he was standing there, somebody said, hey, we acknowledge that you're the one, because everybody told us that you were coming, and we know through what they said. So in other words, they were glorifying these other people, who had said your Savior is coming. So they're glorifying these people instead of glorifying the Savior. It's basically, who's better in your eyes? Is it the people who said he was coming, or him? And so to speak of those other than him is to speak of the dead. Is those prophets, the prophets of Israel. Basically, that's where it is he's saying, hey, these people who are leading you are misleading you, and I'm here to set you straight, and you're still talking about what they're saying. So that's what it comes down to, is that. So number 53, his disciples said to him, is circumcision useful or not? He said to them, if it were useful, their father would produce children already circumcised from their mother. Rather, true circumcision in spirit has become profitable in every respect. So that's basically what it comes down to, is God makes you exactly how you need to be. Simple as that. And he talks about how there's been a trimming back of spirituality. Circumcision in spirit has been profitable in every respect. So that's basically, he's stating that the Pharisees and the Sadducees are cutting back what the Father gave to you, so that way you can't, basically they can make money and you can't find your way, because they're going to want to keep making money and deceiving you. So that's basically it. So they trimmed off the mystic psychedelic sacraments, the entheogenic sacraments, and they did so to basically take away from your spirituality. And that's why he talks about circumcision in spirit. So Jesus said, congratulations to the poor, number 54. Congratulations to the poor, for you belong to heaven's kingdom. He says it right there. It's simple as that. If you consider yourself in this life to be poor, understand that in your next life, God's going to give you all that he can. And if you can, the people who hold power and wealth in this world, they are lost. They are headed down a downward spiral, and they're more than likely attached to that wealth and power. And so if you don't have wealth and power in this world, you don't have attachment to the world. You don't. It's hard to explain, but if you suffer through this life and you're poor, considered monetarily poor in this life, when it comes time for you to leave this world, you probably will. You will be able to. You'll be a lot better off than somebody who's had it easy their whole life, because they're probably going to fight to hold on to the easiness of their life. So that's what he's talking about in that one. Number 55, Jesus said, whoever does not hate father and mother cannot be my disciple. And whoever does not hate brothers and sisters and carry the cross as I do will not be worthy of me. So in other words, those in your physical life you must overcome the attachment to them. And so that's what he's talking about. If you do not go out amongst the world and be willing to walk the walk on your own and try to gather for the Father, that's what he's talking about. Carry the cross as I do, become fishers of men, and you will not really truly understand Christ, because you got to walk the walk in order to truly claim to be a follower of Christ. So number 56, Jesus said, whoever has come to know the world has discovered a carcass. Whoever discovered a carcass, of that person the world is not worthy. So that they're talking about the psychedelic experience. They're talking about ego death. When you can literally separate yourself from the body, then you see the body dead there. And for many people that's frightening. That's very, very scary. But it's very truth. It's you can't do that. You can't have the lucid dream, I guess you could say, while you still have attachment to the world, while you still have attachment to the body, because you're not going to want to let the body go. But that's what it is if you can overcome your attachment to the world and your attachment to what you perceive to be your life and your attachment to the body, then you can see the world as it truly is, and you can, overcome the world. And that's what he's talking about. The world is not worthy of you. So number 57, Jesus said, the Father's kingdom is like a person who has good seed. His enemy came during the night and sowed weeds among the good seed. The person did not let the workers pull up the weeds, but said to them, no, otherwise you might go to pull up the weeds and pull up the wheat among them. For on the day of the harvest, the weeds will be conspicuous and will be pulled up and burned. So I'm not trying to scare you guys, but I'm letting you know the end is coming. And at the end, I believe that everybody's end is going to come at a different time. So at your end, you will either fight to stay here, or you will surrender and go with the Father. And so those who are at peace are the wheat, and the weeds try to take over. And so basically that's what it comes down to, is what will you do in the end? And that's what he's talking about. That's what he's talking about at the seed, the harvest, bringing those out of the world. And so number 58, Jesus said, congratulations to the person who has toiled and found life. It's not an easy thing to know what I know. It's not. It takes work. I started this path a long time ago, and I kind of disregarded it. I thought, it must have just been a crazy trip. But in reality, after I had my motorcycle accident, and then after I started having psychedelic experiences with mushrooms, it was a treacherous path. It was a path of great difficulty, because I had to overcome my own fear. And it was work. But after I did it, I found what I was looking for. I found truth and knowledge. And I found life. And I look forward to going to what I found. But how can you go anywhere you don't know where to go? So that's the deal. Is if you found life, you found your way. Jesus, number 59, Jesus said, look to the living one as long as you live. Otherwise you might die, and then try to see the living one, and you will be unable to see. So if you use psychedelic mushrooms to see the Father, you should continue seeing the Father that way, in that light, as long as you live. So that because that's like a near-death experience. That's like ego death, is dying to oneself. So if you die to yourself, not truly physically die, but ego death, and you find the Father, you got to keep that practice going, because at the end of your life, if you've practiced that and you know what to do, you'll know what to do. If you don't know what to do, and it comes time for you to do what you're supposed to do, and you don't know how to do it, you won't be able to. And that's what he's talking about. You will be unable to see. So number 60 says, he saw a Samaritan carrying a lamb and going to Judea. He said to his disciples, that person around the lamb that person carries around the lamb, they said to him, so that he may kill it and eat it. He said to them, he will not eat it while it is alive, but only after he has killed it and it has become a carcass. They said, otherwise he can't do it. He said to them, so also with you, seek for yourselves a place for rest, or you might become a carcass and be eaten. So that is great. It's because that's what he's talking about. You got to find the place of rest, because the place of rest is beyond the body. It's if you can find heaven while you're alive, when it's time for you to let the world go, that's where you go. If you don't find it while you're alive, then your soul stays here and you are eaten by the worms. So he gives us an opportunity to go there, but he laid it all out for us, and he said, you got to walk this walk, you got to follow this path, and I'm putting the path out there the way I see it, and if you can gather from my knowledge, then you're blessed. And so that's what I'm here to do, is help explain some of his knowledge. I'm not going to explain every single thing, because like take for example number 66. Jesus said, show me the stone that the builders rejected. That is the keystone. He's talking about the psychedelic entheogenic sacraments. And if you figure it out and you use that as it was intended for you to use, and then you find your way, and you saw the truth that was around you all the time. So I wish you the best of luck, guys. I wish you that God will bless you in your life as he has blessed me in mine. I am very thankful for my life and for my opportunity, and I just want to use it to the best of my ability. So good luck and God bless.